fresh out the oven.
What is cracking, everybody? It's Mega Pieman here, and welcome to another look at my map. This time for King of the Hill Synthetic A6A. And it's A6A as opposed to just A6, because A6 had some problems that had to be recorrected, but they were not problematic enough to warrant it to be A7. So it's A6A, as in Alpha 6 Alpha, I guess. I don't know. This version of the map, as opposed to Alpha 5, I got some competitive testing on. So I uploaded Alpha 5, got the normal TF2maps.net testing on that, and also got some competitive testing on Alpha 5. So Alpha 6 is my attempt to fix some of the issues that were prevalent within that version of the map. One of the main ones that the competitive players kept complaining about was the fact that there was a lot of flanking going on, and they really didn't enjoy it all that much. So, the main thing that I tried to do with this version of the map is change this flank route. Instead of previously, where you would go through this tunnel, it was a rather lengthy tunnel. You would go up here, and you'd actually come up like all the way back here, and then you could decide to go this way, or decide to go this way. I streamlined it a bit. The main tunnel is now a lot shorter. It still brings you out over here, but you're a lot more obvious. You are a lot more obvious from people who are standing on the point. You will have to go past the point area, so they will most likely see you, making being able to defend against people who are flanking a little bit easier. And people who are over here may be able to see you a little bit more as well. So hopefully that will help deal with all of the flanking that was going on, because it was getting a little bit ridiculous. I like having this flank route. I really, really do. I do not want to get rid of it. And a lot of King of the Hill maps, what they have is they have a flank route that goes under the point, but it goes like this. That's what Arctic does. That's what High Pass has one that goes straight under the point and then up over this way. Koth King has a bit of one that does something like that. I don't want to do that because I find that not only to not really be a whole lot of a flank route, but I also find it to be a little bit safe, and it's been done a lot. So I want to try to do something a little bit different by having it so that players go down and around to get around to the other side of where the team is, instead of just going down and then going right back up. So I'm hoping that I can get this flank route to work the way that I want it to, but as of now, I'm not sure. I think it'll do what I want it, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. We'll have to see with more testing. Something else that I changed was health pack and ammo pack locations. As you can see, I added these small ammo packs here on the point. And I moved this, which was over, I think over here. I put it right there, so it's closer to the point, so you can go in here, grab a little bit of health, a little bit. Actually, this was the one that was down in the tunnel. I took the health and ammo out of the tunnel, put it over here, so if a little bit of health, a little bit of ammo, you can grab the ammo from over there, and you can fall back even farther to get the health and ammo back here. Is there health and ammo in here? Yes, there is health and ammo in here. I don't remember if I did this in A5, but I changed up these stairs. Honestly, I can't remember. But you have health and ammo in here, and I changed where this health and ammo pack is located. Originally, it was located down here, but I moved it. The reason why I moved it is because I noticed that a lot of players would kind of crowd around in this area in order to group up around the health and ammo pack, and the problem with that is that soldiers and demo men would kind of just dive bomb in on them since they were down here in this low area, and there wasn't a whole lot they could do about it. So in order to try to avoid everybody crowding around in this area, I moved the health packs and ammo packs back a bit. So if they decide to regroup around the health and ammo pack, they aren't at a huge, massive disadvantage. So instead of regrouping down here, they'll regroup back here if they regroup on this side, and if they decide to regroup on this side, they still have this ammo and health pack over here. Hammo is a combination of ammo and health. I created it, I copyrighted it, you can no longer use it in the future. So hopefully that will make people use this right side of the map a little bit more. Because something that I noticed with the competitive testing is people weren't really using this side of the map. And I don't know why. Oh, hey, there's a prop clip in there. I didn't realize that was a thing. I've had an issue for a while, where for some reason people do not use... That's also a problem. When did that become a problem? What's going on with all of these pipes? I gotta figure out what's going on with that. That's gonna be an Alpha 7 issue. What's going on here? I'm a little bit annoyed by that, but we'll have to wait and see if I can figure out. I think something is off. Something's definitely off over here, but I'm not sure what. Is this side shorter? No, this side isn't shorter. It's the... Over here, I have the building that goes behind the fence. And over there, for some reason, it doesn't go behind the fence. That is a symmetrical issue. Though I think the layout's the same. It's just a visual problem. So, I'll work on it. Maybe I'll leave it there as my symmetrical, asymmetrical detailing and change things up. I don't know. We'll have to see how realistic or close that actually is layout-wise. Hopefully it's not too bad. But yeah, with this health and ammo over here, and this health and ammo farther back over there, hopefully it'll start drawing players to go over on this side of the map a little bit more. And in order to try to draw players to do that on their own, I have changed up the spawn again. So... previously, the spawn area, you had the door that was looking like right out here. Even though you would easily see both doors, people would still, they would just go forward, they would go right out the door, and they would go this way. I cannot get people to go this way for some stupid reason. They spawn, and then they go that way. So the idea that I have here is to try and change the ease of access paths. Apparently, this is the theory. Because the default TF2 view model is having your gun on the right side of the screen, people have a tendency to go to the left because that's where the screen is more open, which makes sense. So I'm trying to use my brushwork and level design to encourage going right more by having left be not, or before left was, it might have been perceived as a little bit closer to the door, so now it's not quite as close to the door, because you have to go sort of out and around this way, and you have to go up the stairs. So the easiest way is just to not go up the stairs, but just to walk straight and go out this door and go this way. I'm hoping that by doing that, I will be able to attract more players to this side of the map, so that they'll actually use it. Because close to the end of the competitive playtesting that I had, I watched a demo of it. And basically, people, they spawned, they went this way, and that's it. They just went this way. I rarely, if ever, saw anybody over here, which defeats the whole purpose of there being this part of the map. And it's also probably part of the reason why the flank route had such a high impact on the game, why people were so annoyed with the flank route, because they were standing over here, and they were standing on the point, but you didn't have players on this side of the map to deal with anybody who was coming up the flank. So anybody using the flank could just go all the way around, almost unchallenged, to get over here, which is a problem. So, because this side does not have a flank route, I'm trying to encourage players going this way more often. That way they can counter the flank that exists, which should be a bit easier to do now that it's a lot easier to notice just from standing at this door. I mean, you can stand down here and go this way, and like maybe right here to over here, you'll be able to see if somebody is coming up that staircase. And it's still, the staircase is still useful for getting around this way and getting around this way, but hopefully it won't be quite as obnoxious if I can get people to actually go on this side of the map. I also got rid of this weird shack thing that existed and replaced it with some steps and a more interesting concrete floor area, sort of. I don't know what it is. It's just, it's more interesting visually, and I think plays more interesting well, because the thing I had there before was kind of just threw something in there, and it looked terrible. I didn't really know what to do with it, so I kind of got rid of it and just put a staircase there. And what doing that actually helps with is it helps give the spawn team a bit more height advantage. Not much over here, but you get a little bit more height advantage over that way, so you can fight anybody who finds their way all the way back in here. Also removed those crates, the barrel pallets that were originally blocking the spawn exit that was over there, because I moved the spawn exit around. I didn't need those crates there anymore, and they were kind of cluttery as it was. So got rid of them and changed up this building not be quite as square, as well as adding these windows for more detailing. So they're more interesting windows than the windows that were there before. And I put a door there because why not, for some extra added detailing. And it's the same on the blue side. If you go over to the blue side of the map, it should be exactly the same. Yeah, it's exactly the same over here as well. Now, something that I've tried messing with this... Ooh, there's no freaking arrow there. There's supposed to be an arrow there. Radio games. Something that I messed with this version of the map that I have never messed with before was a thing called a tone map controller. Now, in the last video, I talked about how textures and surfaces in Team Fortress 2 or in the Source engine reflect light differently. It's difficult to see with an actual texture, but you can see with these dev textures here with 40% reflectivity that's how well that texture will reflect light, that have light bounce off of it. And then I have, of course, up here, I have a different reflectivity. Generally, when it comes to reflectivity for dev textures, I just use the different dev textures to give different colors for walls, ceilings, and floors, as well as the different sides of the map, so I don't really put a whole lot of thought process into reflectivity at that point. But as I start detailing the map, I have to think about reflectivity, because that changes how the lighting is in a map. And a tone map controller, what that does is that controls things like your bloom for a map, as well as other things related to lighting, like exposure, the maximum and the minimum amount of exposure. For Team Fortress 2, the exposure doesn't change. For more single-player maps, you can change exposure, like if you're coming out of a dark cave, you can have the exposure get really bright at one spot, so it gets bright and then goes back to normal when you get outside, kind of like if you were in real life. When you go from a dark environment to a light environment, your eyes have to adjust. That's what exposure kind of is used in the single-player focus, but when it comes to multiplayer focus, I'm using the exposure just to try to dial down on some of the bloom issues that I had in previous versions of the map, where this middle area was so freaking bright. I'm not sure why it was so bright, because the only lighting that is in this area is environmental lighting, which comes from the skybox textures, which is what, like, if you look up and you see that blue, that is the skybox. If I go out here, you will see that now I'm outside the skybox texture. The skybox texture is what creates the environmental lighting that you set for your overall map, and then I'm using the tone map to adjust that environmental lighting to try not to make people's eyes bleed. So yeah, I like it a lot more than I did before. I've never really messed with tone map with exposure or bloom or anything like that before, because I've never had to, but for this map I do have to. I've messed around with the environmental lighting, but can never really pin down what I really wanted it to be. So now I'm trying with tone map to get this to look better, and I think it looks a lot better. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it or change it up a little bit more in the future, but I like how it is now. And I do plan for the next version of this map to go into Beta 1, which means that depending upon what the feedback is, I will mostly be focusing on detailing. Now, I did get some more competitive feedback for this version of the map, because for some reason I waited forever to release the video on the last version of the map. I thought I'd already uploaded Alpha 5, but I hadn't, so it's a little bit out of date. But this is the current version of the map. I do have some feedback on it. I haven't got non-competitive feedback yet, but I do have competitive feedback that will be focusing into what Beta 1 will be. And the deadline for the contest this is being entered for, the competitive contest is being run by a guy called Beater, is coming up for the main contest. The overall deadline is going to be in April, but that only affects me if my map makes it past the first round of voting. So, but with being B1, Beta 1, hopefully I'll get that done before March is over. Or, I'm not entirely sure when the actual voting is, but hopefully I'll get Beta 1 done before March is over. That way I can get that out, and it'll be better. So, thank you very much for watching. I'm, of course, going to make a PieMan PhD. I'll have more videos coming out in the future. Got more quick peeks, more not quick peeks and stuff. More look at my maps that I'm working on. It's taking me a while to actually get something done at the moment, because first I was sick, And now the video that I'm working on is a bit more complex than the videos I normally make, so whenever that'll be done, I don't know. But hopefully you enjoy this look at my map videos in the interim between the other videos that I'm making. I'm, of course, open to feedback, so if you have anything you would like to say about this version of the map, you can leave a comment either on the video you're watching right now on YouTube, or follow the link in the description to go to the TF2 Maps thread for this map and leave a comment there for your feedback. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.